The little girl just pressed the woman's wound gently with a handkerchief. The next second, the wound that had been bleeding non-stop healed instantly without a trace. Even the pain disappeared completely. The woman was utterly amazed by what had happened. But before she could figure out what was going on, a group of villagers arrived with shovels in their hands. They accused the little girl of being a jinx and demanded to drive her out of the village, because every time she cursed someone, the curse would come true without fail. Even her grandfather, who was a doctor, had died because of her curse. For this reason, the villagers feared and hated her deeply. However, the woman thought the little girl who had healed her was not a jinx at all. She then asked the girl if she would like to stay at her house temporarily. The girl thought that she had no home to go back to, so she agreed to follow the woman home. But she never expected to face resistance again as soon as they arrived. The reason was that the woman's son had just been severely burned and disfigured in a fire, which made him become extremely inferior and irritable. When the maid saw the little girl, whom she regarded as a jinx, entering the house, she was worried that the girl would bring disasters upon her, so she deliberately went to the boy to stir up trouble. She claimed that the girl was going to take away all the love and care that belonged to him. Now even his mother was so busy taking care of the girl that she had no time left to treat his burn wounds. Upon hearing this, the boy rushed downstairs in a fit of rage immediately, but he just happened to hear his mother telling the girl not to look at his face. The girl also asked curiously why she couldn't look at him. The boy covered his face subconsciously, but he accidentally knocked the fish tank over onto the floor. The girl turned around and only then noticed the bandages wrapped around his face. The boy, however, was terrified that the girl would see his disfigured face. He angrily told his mother to drive the girl out of the house at once. The woman ignored her son's demand, though, instead, she explained to the girl that her son had suffered severe burns on his face, so his emotions were very unstable. Only then did the girl understand what was going on. The woman had gone to the village to look for her grandfather, just to get treatment for her son's burn wounds. But seeing this scene, the boy became more convinced that his mother thought he was too ugly. That was why she had taken in such a pretty little girl and planned to abandon him. After hearing the boy's words, the girl felt helpless. She had no choice but to explain the situation. The woman had gone to the village to look for her deceased grandfather, just to get treatment for her son's burn wounds. She had only taken her, who was homeless, back home to stay temporarily on the way. Besides, there was no need for the boy to feel so inferior because of those wounds, because she could also help heal him. With that said, the girl reached out her hand to touch the boy's face, but the maid suddenly stepped forward and stopped her. She also told the mother and son that the girl was a jinx who could curse people. The girl was already used to being misunderstood by others, so she paid no attention to the maid. Instead, she directly grabbed the boy's arm and asked him to trust her, but the boy shook her hand off forcefully at once. He claimed that even the top doctors in the world couldn't cure his burns. How could a little liar like her possibly heal him? Little did he know that the moment the girl's fingers had touched his arm, she had already cured his burn wounds completely. The girl immediately told him to take off the bandages and take a look, but the boy suspected that the girl just wanted to remove the bandages and laugh at his appearance. The woman couldn't help but ask the girl if she really knew how to treat illnesses. The girl said that she didn't know how to treat illnesses at all, but she was certain that his wounds had already healed completely. After hearing this, the woman was half convinced and half doubtful, but the maid laughed mockingly and said that believing the girl's nonsense was no different from waiting for a miracle to happen. With that said, she started to push the girl out of the house forcefully. This incident made the girl involuntarily recall the days